missions. I said evangelism, follow up mission. So please, sir, sorry, just 5 minutes of your own time. Okay. Now, missions. Missions is taking the gospel of Jesus to unreached locations and territories, or to territories that don't have sufficiency of the preaching of the gospel. Maybe they've not heard it at all, or they've heard it but it's not more. You see, like these state capitals, you can see so many churches, but there are some territories in this Benue you may travel to, maybe with 5, 7, 10 villages, and you may see only one church, which may be Roman Catholic Church. So such places still need the gospel. Now, under missions, there are some things that are very important. The core factors of missions. Number one, preach Christ. As a missionary going for missions, the first thing you have to do is to preach Christ. And these three things, you hear PC. Number one, preach Christ. There is no missions without the preaching of Christ. Number two, provide care. There are some territories that are totally in darkness, spiritual darkness, physical darkness, intellectual darkness. So you have to provide care. You can go with Medicare, you can go with education, you can go with anything that can provide care so that it opens up their heart to receive the gospel. That's what the early missionaries did. I said, number one, you preach Christ. Number two, you provide care. And number three, you plant churches. Missions is not complete without church planting. Missions is not complete without church planting. Finally, so that let me not exhaust, the making of a missionary. If you want to be a missionary, there are some things that are very important which you must take into consideration. The lifestyle of a missionary. Number one, you must be ready and willing to go wherever God sends you. A lot of people cannot preach in some locations, but as a missionary, you must be ready. You can be educated, and God decides to send you into a territory where people are not educated. A real missionary does not fight the leading of God. You must be ready to go where God sends you. Number two, you must be ready and willing to go where souls are. You must be ready and willing to go where souls are as a missionary. Number three, you must be ready and willing to adapt to the environment. This is where a lot of people have problems. They say, I must bath hot water. Then you go to a place where there is no availability of you bathing hot water. What do? You must adapt. Or you say, I bath 2 times a day. Then you go to a place where water is a scarce commodity, where some people bath once in 3 days. So won't you stay there to do the work of the Lord? Because a true shepherd must be with the sheep. Real church planting and missions, you cannot be going from somewhere to just visit and run back. There are some people that do church, they only arrive in the territory on Saturday evening or Sunday morning, preach to the people and they run back. That church can never grow. Shepherd must live with sheep. You cannot be living in Abuja and be pastoring in Makurdi. So number 4, you must be ready and willing to eat whatever the people are eating. This is another problem. You know, some people are very choosy. If you are a very choosy person when it comes to food, you can't be an effective missionary. There's virtually nothing I've not eaten in this one. Immediately I go to a territory and people are eating something, I must eat it. But now, food is very important. Why? When you reject people's food, they will reject the gospel you are bringing. Because food is a way of you showing the people that I am connecting with you. So don't say, what is this? Why is this soup looking like this? This one is soup. Please shift. No. Nobody will come for you to preach to them. Another thing in the making of a missionary, you must be ready and willing to learn the language of the territory. You must be willing and ready to learn the language of the territory. Next number, you must be willing and ready to study and understand the culture and customs of the people. I didn't say you will embrace or accept it, but you must understand it and know it. There are some places you go to, in interior places, certain days, people don't go out because it's a masquerade festival. Don't say because I'm a pastor, I must do crusade that day. No. Some of the problems people have is not God, it's not persecution, it's foolishness. The masquerade day is just one day in a week. Why don't you allow them do it? And then you do your crusade the next day. And save yourself some stress. Until when you've gotten strong foothold in the territory, you can now begin to influence things. Jesus said that we believers, in his parable, we are like yeast that is sown into dough. We don't do influence immediately. Influence is gradually and stealthily and tactfully and tactically. All right. And then, next, okay, so I was talking about culture and custom. One time I went to a certain village in an African country. Let me just stop here and let me tell you this story, then I'm done. I went to a certain village in an African country, and this will help you. Look at this. In that village, that was 2009. 2009. I don't want to mention the country since I'm online. A certain West African country. We're traveling to go and preach on the missions. And then we got to a particular village. In that village, women tie only wrapper on their waist. They don't wear anything up. So the whole village breasts were greeting us. Now, it's normal. So we went to the market to buy things. The woman selling market is bare breast. Everything, the whole market, in that village, as I then know, probably the civilization of dressing like this did not reach there. So initially it was a struggle. So how do you preach to women that are bare-breasted? You see, when I see people begin to do some doctrine about what to wear and what not to wear, I say they are not ready for missions. That means going to that place to do crusade or to plant a church and you share evangelism, you are likely to see 300 women empty. That means you are likely to see 600 breasts. That is how, to them it's normal. It's not nakedness. Nakedness is this side. They've covered it. But we have to be in that territory. So missions means you must first and foremost accept the culture of the place and the custom of the place so that they too can open up to receive you. Now, your primary focus is not to change the custom. That's why Nigerians have problem when they travel to preach. You are not going to change people's customs. You are going to give them Christ. If in the process of receiving Christ and following you, they want to adapt to your own, that's when they begin to. So now, for instance, if you are a man that has weakness of immorality, don't go for missions in that kind of territory. Or you need to make sure you have a mechanism to protect yourself. So in missions, know that you will see things that are alien to you. But make up your mind that you are there as a representative of God. So you must love the city or the territory first with all your heart. Because any territory you don't love, you will not conquer. And then after that, after you love that territory, you must conquer the spiritual forces in the land, keeping the people backwards. And then ask that God will give you a breakthrough for the people to receive you. Because when they receive you, they'll receive your gospel. That's the end of the teaching. Let's celebrate Jesus as our Father comes.